Welcome fans to the Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Brian Bull, joined by the head coach of the Hofstra softball team, Larissa Anderson. And Coach, how are you?
Doing all right, not bad, Brian.
Coach, you went 2-2-1 in the Parents Weekend tournament at FAU. Just give us your overall thoughts on the tournament.
Played decent. Should have won all 5 games. We had the win against Florida State going into the 7th inning. We had the lead with Florida Atlantic going in, and we just need to close out some games here. But overall, played pretty decent. Hit the ball a little bit better. Still need to get more production out of our offense, and we just need to know how to close out games right now.
You did get some pretty good offensive performances. Corinne Bailey hits 500, hits a home run, drives in 5 runs total. Just talk about her offensive production and picking up as the season progresses.
She had great at-bats the whole weekend, and it was really nice to see her come through in some clutch situations, some great production out of her in some pressure situations. So it was really good to see her get on track.
How has she done defensively moving to center field this year? A bit of an adjustment from the corner outfield spot. Just talk about that transition.
She's been awesome. She's had some really, really tough plays. She's made some great catches against Florida State up against the wall. Some plays that it is it's a different angle to go from right field to center field, and then she's made that transition nicely.
And at the top of the lineup, Chloe Fitzgerald continues to get on base, scores a lot of runs, steals 3 bases in the tournament. Just talk about what she provides with her speed at the top of the lineup.
She has great back control. She's able to really place the ball wherever she wants to defensively. She'll see the holes in the infield. She'll see if they're playing way down on her. She's able to loop it over their head. She's able to power slap it through. She does a great job of reading the defense and putting a lot of pressure on them, which is the table setter to set it up for Corinne Bailey and further down the lineup.
And you're getting some run production from your freshmen as well. Just talk about what they provided the first 3 tournaments of the year.
It's great to see them have quality at bats against this level of competition that we're playing right now, because they've never experienced it. They don't know what it takes to play at this level. They haven't seen this level of pitching, so it's great to see that they're able to control the strike zone, swing at quality pitches, and be able to get some offensive production out of them.
And you get a great tournament out of Morgan Lashley. She goes 2-0 in 3 starts, an ERA under 0.7. Just talk about what you saw from her.
She really turned it around. She struggled her first 2 tournaments. With a lot of walks. She wasn't being hit around a lot, but she was putting too many people on base that weren't earning it. And it was great to see her compete, get some more strikeouts against some quality teams. Really, really step up her game, and that was the Morgan that we've seen in the past year.
And talking about facing quality teams, you faced the 12th ranked Florida State Seminoles. Take a lead into the 6th inning. Obviously, the result's not quite what you wanted, but the fact that you played so well and you had a lead so late, just talk about the value of playing these really highly ranked teams.
It's experience for the team to understand that it doesn't matter who we're playing, that we have an opportunity to win every single ball game where we're in the game. Taylor did an unbelievable job, and they really struggled against Taylor. And it's just finishing that game, finishing out, closing it out, going out and shutting the door, which is what we need to do. But being able to have that lead going into the 6th and see that we can play at that level, it's just a matter of now finishing it and getting those wins rather than losing in the 6th and the 7th inning.
And pitcher Taylor Perrone, she's giving you a lot of versatility because she started a lot of games. She's also come in relief. And just talk about, because those are probably 2 different skill sets to both start and come in out of the bullpen. And just talk about how she's been able to do both roles pretty well.
What's neat about Taylor, because she's down in the zone. She's drop ball and change up. And it's very hard to get on time with her because every pitch she throws is at a different speed. So she creates a lot of ground balls. We made the change last night against Florida Atlantic, where we went from Morgan, we went to Taylor, and then when we started to go into extra innings, I went to move back to Morgan because Taylor doesn't produce a lot of strikeouts. And when you're in an international tiebreaker, you need some strikeouts. You don't need the ball to be put in play. So we went back to Morgan to try to get some pop-ups and strikeouts rather than the ground ball situation, and it worked for the time being, and until that last inning.
Well, and you have a strange case in the last game against Florida Atlantic. Game actually ends in a tie. When's the last time you remembered something like that happening?
Oh, probably in 1984. You don't see a lot of ties in our games, especially in international tiebreaker. which is the reason for it. But we had a meeting with Joe Joyce at home plate before the game even started, and the game started at 2:30, and in the meeting it was our flight's at 8, we got to be on the road by 6, and she actually laughed and she said, if we're still playing at 6, an international tiebreaker, something's going on. And at 6 o'clock we look at the clock and we're like, we got to hit the road.
Just talk about how that changes strategy, because it's so strange with the international tiebreaker. Inning starts with the runner on second base. Just what is that as far as challenges? How do you prepare for something like that, since you don't see it very often?
You don't, and you only see it in tournament play, and we probably won't see it for the rest of the year. But it goes into where you really start to have to play small ball. They usually sacrifice them over to third in your situational hitting, and then you're looking for someone to hit a fly ball so you can score that run. And if you don't get that sacrifice bunt down, it makes it pretty challenging for both teams. So you really have to, it's a different strategy, it's different managing of the game. And a lot of the college players aren't used to that because they don't play it very often. And
schedule can be a little bit up in the air, but you know that conference play starts in 2 weeks. So before you face UNCW in that first CAA series, just what are you looking for the team to improve on in the next 2 weeks?
We got to close out games. We got to put some pressure on them defensively. It seems that we're allowing that first runner of the last inning to get on base, either with an error or a walk, or we're not making great pitches in those situations. So we got to put a little bit more pressure on them, play one pitch at a time, and not get caught up that it is the 7th inning. And that comes from experience, and just continue to keep putting pressure on them in situations. The downfall that we're in right now is we've only played 15 games, and I was looking at some of the other teams across the country, and like University of Washington's played 30. So we are behind the 8 ball a little bit with the weather we've been having, and it's just trying to create that environment and practice as much as we can.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for the time. And fans, you can check out all the updates to the schedule by going to GoHofstra.com. I'm Brian Bull. Thank you for watching the Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.